In September, Toby dropped the first newsletter about the next Deltarune chapter, so I decided that on this occasion it's worth taking a look at everything we know about Chapter 5. We'll talk about the newsletter, about things we heard in Chapters 3 and 4, and about a couple of my own theories about this chapter. If you like watching Deltarune content, then you can subscribe to my channel as I plan to post videos about this game every week. I appreciate everything you do to help my videos blow up, seriously. Let's begin. Let's start with the newsletter. Toby told us that he doesn't want to reveal much yet and wants to keep it out as a surprise. However, he did show us an optional scene in Castletown that will appear if we defeat Mike. He said that in the next newsletter he'll reveal more scenes from Castletown. Then he said that early parts of Chapter 5 are completed and need some polish. The middle 30% is in the rough first pass and the last 10 wasn't really started. However, around 85% of cutscenes are in a draft state, while 20% of them need some more polish. Underneath that we could see a pine tree icon. Regular enemies are mostly done and they're working on Chapter 6 bullet patterns. The direction of boss battles has been established and once they're finished they will also polish them. We can also see a trash can and QC laughing with a rabbit, which I don't think has ever appeared in Deltarune. It's obviously her sister from the inn though. Finally, we have information that the 5th chapter won't come out in early 2026, which is not surprising. Okay, let's move on to what we know from the game itself. During the fight with Susie, Gerson tells us about the chapters of Lord of the Hammer, which match the adventures of the heroes so far. Chapter 5 is described as the Field of Pink and Gold. The vast garden is charred in an inferno of jealousy. Another piece of information is in Chapter 3 thanks to the Eggman. He tells us his whole schedule there. He says that on Sunday he harvests wheat. The egg will be on a field somewhere then. That's another clue about what this dark world could be. Garden, plants, fields? I think it's pretty obvious that the next dark world will appear in Asgard's Flower King, no wonder. From the beginning this place seemed strange to people and they associated it with Undertale. It was a matter of time until this door turns out to be a dark world entrance. This also fits the fact that Susie is currently trying to get the code to the bunker. One of the codes had an officer's badge beside it. Undyne won't give it to us, so won't Napstab look, so only Asgard remains as he was a police chief until some incident happened. I wonder what that's about. He's a pretty shady character and the hidden dialogue in Noah's house shows that. No wonder Susie decides to take us there, and when we arrive we'll find black smoke that will only mean one thing. I assume that Asgard will appear there too and in a slightly larger role than Thorly in Chapter 3. The prophecy talks about the Flower Man trapped in asylum after all. Gerson probably talked about him too when he mentioned an inferno of jealousy. We know that he's trying his best to save his marriage with Toriel and literally the night before the opening of this dark world she got drunk with Sans. It's very possible he'll take her to the festival and that's how Asgard will see them. Because you know, before we enter the dark worlds there will be a section at the festival. It was talked about from the very beginning, so I suppose it will be a long and very important scene. Maybe even better than Noelle's house. I also expect Jockington and Cathy might have a big role there, since for some reason they have portraits next to their dialogue. Jockington is even mentioned in the prophecy, he must be important in some way. Or maybe Trigitoni is just trolling. I still think Cathy will be important though. It's even possible that she will enter the dark world with us, but this may seem like a far-fetched assumption. It's also worth mentioning that we will meet the last secret boss in this chapter. At least that's what it looks like. Sean told us they'll make something interesting for us if we bring them 5 crystals. Since we already have 4, then the last one will probably be in the 5th chapter. I wonder what format the last 2 chapters will be in then, but I guess we'll see in the future. It may even be that we'll not control Chris, but Noelle, and the main boss will be Ralsei. Who knows? Well, since I already mentioned Noelle, let's talk about deltarune.com/chapter 5. We have 5 numbers there reflecting each of the chapters, but only 2, 4 and 5 are visible. 1 small after selecting it and 3 is as big as 2. If you click on 2 you will hear the well-known Snowgrave song The OGG, so we can guess that each number represents part of the weird route. If you click on 3 you'll hear a sound that plays after defeating Iram. 4 has a distorted sound that plays when we reveal ourselves to Noelle in chapter 4. and 5 has a town called Hometown remix. 1 is small and hidden because there's no trace of Snowgrave in the first chapter, 2 is visible and big because that's where it starts and is the most important, 3 is big but not visible since this chapter has a hidden route that tells us about Snowgrave's existence in the previous chapter. It's not visible though because there's hardly anything that changes when you're on the weird route. 4 is visible but small because there's a weird route segment that isn't really very important to the whole chapter. The visible and medium large 5 suggest that the weird route will be important in this chapter, less than in second but more than in fourth. The music that plays there suggests a weird scene will happen at the festival. It fits as a theme for that place. Will Noelle go to the Dark World with us? Possibly. After all, if you watched my previous video about the freedom motif and secret bosses, you know that I have a theory that the last secret boss will be related to Noelle, just like the rest of them are related to the Delta Warriors. I think it has potential for some really cool possibilities. Imagine for example if we forced Chris to order Noelle to freeze Asgore. They already hate us in this route for what we're doing to their friend, so imagine what they do after we killed their father. I'd really like to see that, but we'll see in a year. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you're excited for the upcoming chapter, then make sure to subscribe. You can also leave a like or a comment as it helps me grow a ton. Until the next one, and...